I wasn't all that good about protecting my skin. When I grew up in the 50s and 60s, it wasn't a big thing that they talked about. And growing up in Wisconsin, nobody really thought the sun from Wisconsin would be a big deal. Coming to Florida was another story. That, of course, allowed me to be outside all year, which meant I was in the bright sun all year, and I still wasn't all that good about taking care of covering my skin. When I got here, I realized that it's probably pretty important to be seeing a dermatologist on occasion, like once a year. I knew because of my Irish-Swedish background with the light skin, blue eyes, blonde hair, that I was probably going to have some trouble in the future. I did find a little something on my ear that looked strange to me. It was red and blue, and I know one of the things you want to do is look for something that's odd. So I showed it to my wife, who's a nurse practitioner. She said, better have it checked. And I thought, now who am I going to see? I don't really want to go back to Bradenton, but I decided that I had heard about the Florida Skin Center, and I wanted to come in and see what they had to say. First visit here was very comfortable. First I had a nurse come in and take my history, provided all the paperwork with my prior surgeries, medications I was taking, and then a PA came in. I believe her name was Cindy, very friendly. She did the full body scan for me. She ended up burning off, I think, 4 or 5 things off my hands and arms. And then when she got to my back, she saw 3 areas that she thought she should biopsy. And that's what she did. She took a biopsy on 3 pieces. About a week after the biopsy, I got a phone call and they said, congratulations, 2 of your biopsies are clear. Which, of course, begged the question, what about the 3rd one? And Cindy explained to me that the 3rd one was melanoma. They wanted to get me in as soon as possible, and they wanted to remove it. When I came in, I met Dr. V. That's what everybody calls him, so I stayed with it. A very nice guy. I mean, I was so surprised at how nice he was, because oftentimes when I meet new physicians, they're maybe a bit jaded, been doing it so long, very businesslike, but he seemed really concerned about me, how I felt, if I understood what was going to happen, was I comfortable, did I need to go to the bathroom before he started? I mean, he was just, I was extremely impressed at how kind he was. And knowing that he'd done his residency at Harvard was also helpful, of course, to my psyche, and I knew he'd do a good job. Well, I remember everything about what happened after that. I believe it was Cindy and one other professional was giving me local anesthetic injections to numb up my back in the area that they're going to work on. I was prepared for him to come in and sit down and start cutting away, trying to make sure that he got all the melanoma so I wouldn't have anything left and I would have what they call clear margins. All I ever felt was a little pressure. Another thing I'll say about Dr. V is he has very thin, long fingers. And I think if you're having somebody working inside your body through an incision, it's kind of like having a dentist work in your mouth. You don't want some guy with big old clubby fingers. And his fingers were almost magical. All I ever felt was a little pressure. Fortunately today, after having gotten another call from the Florida Skin Center, I found out that my margins are clear. No further procedures or treatments were required. They did, however, recommend that I touch base with Florida Cancer Center just in case I had any other questions or needed to pursue anything. After talking with my wife and daughter, I decided that I would just leave it as it is. In the meantime, Florida Skin Center has set up an appointment for me for every 3 months to come back for a full body scan just to see if anything else is going to grow. If I were talking to a group of people right now, it doesn't matter if they're children or older, it doesn't matter if they live in Florida or Wisconsin, take care of your skin. Your skin is always out there, and the sun is always trying to get to it. And even though it took me 69 years to develop my first melanoma, I kind of have an idea I may see it again. So I'm going to just continue on with the regimen. I'm going to protect myself, and I recommend that everybody else do too.